Hey guys, I'm Charlotte Palmer Evans and welcome to another makeup tutorial. Now you may be wondering why I have these cat's ears on top of my head. Well, I was recently exposed to these radio waves, these radioactive waves as I was motioning there, and they just popped up my head. So yeah, the first thing I'm going to be applying to my face is this Pixi Petra, which is actually an anti-radioactive film, and what it does is it protects my skin from just completely falling off from the accident. Just take a little dab of it there and just apply that to the cheeks. Now if any of you have also been exposed to radiation, this is highly recommended stuff. Just slather that all over because you don't want any part of your face falling off. All done. Now we can get to the actual makeup. Okay, now this stuff is really cool. You can see how happy I am about it. It is called Photography Fluids Opacity 12%. And what that does is it actually, when somebody has taken a photograph of me, it makes my opacity 12%. So it means that I will look semi-transparent in the picture, so you can see things behind me like trees, buildings. It's a really cool effect. Once again, just slather that all over because you don't want it to be patchy. Get a nice even transparency all over your face. So you'll kind of look like a ghost. How cool, eh? Okay, now this thing is actually going to give me some nice cool whiskers to go with these cat ears of mine. Now I think I'm going to want them popping out from those points on my cheek, so just dab exactly where you want the whiskers to appear from. Maybe some on the chin there, and make sure it's exactly the same on the other side. Maybe some sprouting from under the nose as well, and give it maybe like 3 to 4 hours, and by that time you should have a full set of whiskers, just like a real cat. Okay, now this thing is called the Globule Globlet. And as you can see, I've got a globule on my hand right there. And one of these volcanic sea sponges. Just gonna put some more globlets all over the face. Glob away. Dot, dot, dot. Just imagine you're one of those kind of pointillism painters. Okay, now take your volcanic sea sponge and just blend that in. Now these things can be bought in shops, but they're much better if you actually go and get them yourself. I found this one in the sea just off the coast of Tenerife on a diving expedition. Okay, now this is a Crayola crayon, and you can find these in any good stationery shops, something like Hobbycraft. And what it's going to do is give me a really good contour, so just across the cheek and the jaw. And you're going to want to find the biggest crayon that you can find. Okay, take your sea sponge and just blend that in. Looking good. Now this thing is for your lips, for dry lips. Now be very careful guys, do not mistake this stuff for super glue. It looks just like a tube of super glue. Now I've known women who have made that mistake before, and believe me, it is not pretty. Now this stuff is some generic kind of emulsion paint. Just use a small paintbrush. Just remember, you don't want a big paintbrush for this, just a very small one you can find in the range or something, and just apply that underneath your eyes. Any kind of paint will do for this, but I would recommend something like Dulex. Okay, take your sea sponge once again and blend that in. And because these sea sponges are actually live, they can sometimes start making noises and even kind of breaking into song. If that does happen, just I would say go with it and sing along with it. Ta-da! Oh yeah. Okay, now these things, that is actually really hot, ouch. Yeah, these things are actually molten metal. Now what this is going to do is give you a super metallic shine. Just blend that in. And wow, look at that, guys. Who would have thought of putting molten metal on your face? Yeah, who wants a matte cheek when you can have a super, super metallic cheek? Stick a little bit on the nose there. You know, the look we're going for really is kind of like Data from Star Trek. The kind of more metallic the better. Yeah, I like to call it cyborg chic. And you know what this stuff is? This is actually protein powder, believe it or not. What you want to do here is, if you're hitting the gym like I am, and working out every morning, you're going to need to be getting that daily intake of protein, and drinking the stuff is just not that tasty. So you can actually, these days, apply protein powder to your face, and your skin will absorb it over the course of the day, giving you your full daily intake of protein without you even having to drink one of those revolting, disgusting drinks. And using the darker one here just takes away the kind of powderiness, because that protein powder stuff can look a bit caked on. This takes it back to a more natural tone. Okay, I've actually stopped applying any powder now, but I kind of enjoy the feeling of this brush on my face. So now this is Stila, which is called that because it's actually a form of powdered steel. So take your big paintbrush again and apply that steel like there's no tomorrow. You'll also see that by applying this to the cheeks, what it does is it actually kind of like pulls the cheek up, so it kind of pulls it into a smile and a pout, just like that. Okay, now this is called NYX, and NYX actually is the ancient Aramaic word for smile. And what this does is it actually really pulls that cheek up and pulls your mouth into a smile shape, so that if you have a kind of resting bitch face, then you do not have any problems. You will be constantly smiling for the rest of the day. Okay, now this is actually just a bottle of water, because after applying all of that molten metal to my face, I am super, super scalding hot. Oh man, that feels good. Oh yeah. That is cooling me right down. Woo! Now this is just an eyebrow comb, because that mist actually fuzzed up my eyebrows a bit. And this is just going to fill out my eyebrows a bit, because thick eyebrows are actually in these days. I mean, back in like the noughties, it was kind of like thin eyebrows were the thing, but nowadays, thanks to people like Lily Collins, we have a trend where thick eyebrows are in fashion. I mean, the ideal look we want to go for is something like maybe Eugene Levy. I mean, who wouldn't want eyebrows like Eugene Levy? I mean, that guy is just like eyebrow gold. Okay, now this is to add a little bit of highlight to my eyebrows, because who wouldn't want frosted tips? Now, look into my eyes, guys, because you're not looking at me. Now, this here is a generic black felt tip pen, and you can get these from anywhere like a stationery shop or an art supply shop, or even possibly your local post office. And you just want to draw a nice line across your eyelid, and you can use a biro for this, but I wouldn't recommend it because they can be quite sharp. They do have a little ball on the end, and yeah, it's a little metal thing that's really uncomfortable on your eyelid. What you want is a nice, lovely, soft, velvety felt tip, and just a bit of a thicker one now, just so we can add a nice wing. And start by just drawing across the eye and making sure it does not go into your eyeball itself, and just start drawing a nice sharp spike just on the outer edge of the eye. What I usually do to kind of give me inspiration here is think of those spikes on Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, when Sonic hits them and all his rings pop out of him. What you want to do is just imagine one of those super, super sharp spikes, and you'll get the right kind of shape. Okay, now this thing here is actually something I've made myself, and it's actually a small caterpillar attached to a stick. And yeah, just make sure the caterpillar is not hurt in any way if you are going to do this, and you can use that to apply some lovely makeup to your eyelashes themselves. Just remember, if you are doing it this way, just wash that caterpillar off once you've finished and stick him back on the leaf where you found him. Now these are actually some eyelashes which have been cut from the popular YouTuber Fleur de Force. And now she has this condition where her eyelashes grow really quickly, and she just keeps cutting them off and selling them to the mass market. You can actually get them in Boots, Superdrug. Okay, just waiting for this glue to dry. And while you are waiting for that glue to dry, you can have a little coffee and a little jive. That sea sponge is singing away to me right now. Singing Tom Jones. Okay, carefully place Fleur's eyelashes on top of your own and just press them down. And that is that, guys. Okay, now this eye is looking fab, but the other eye, there's nothing on it at the moment, but wait there. Now, doing it the way I just did it was the manual way, but all I have to do is click, I can magic the other eye, because I actually have magical abilities. So if you also have magical abilities, don't bother doing it the first way, just click your fingers and they'll be done. Now, for the lips. Okay, this is called Lipton Liporama, and we can just slap that on. Bish, bash, bosh. And this one here is called Liplicious Lip City. And again, don't be fancy about this, just lather that on. Basically, the more the better. Okay, looking good. One more thing left, and that is this sleek fairy dust, which, look at that shimmer. Now this is being collected from fairies in the forest of Lothlorien, and just a tiny kind of brush of this will go a very long way. Okay, I'm not actually applying any more of it here, I'm just really enjoying the tickle. Okay guys, that is it, and as you can see, the heat from the makeup has actually melted those cat ears off, so not only do I look super sexy, but I'm actually no longer a mutant. Oh yeah, good times. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Remember to give me a thumbs up if you liked this video. And remember to leave a comment down below to let me know what you thought of this video. That's it, guys. See you all next time. Mwah.